guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here, and I have another cheap unboxing for you. This is a $50 unboxing. I purchased this through Amazon recently, but also with that I got myself some controllers. I got this from Retrobit. This is the 8-button arcade pad with USB. This is the black version, but also I got me the blue version. Now, when looking at the front of the box, it does resemble the original box of the Sega Genesis, original Sega Genesis. So it's right there, join the 16-bit revolution. The Genesis, the 30th anniversary. Of course, Sonic image right here. It has a list in Spanish, French, also English. At the top, you have the symbol of Sega Genesis. Also, you have the serial number on the side. At the bottom, you have all the information, warnings, all the pretty much the legal stuff. On one side, you have the symbol of Sega Genesis. On this side, you have an image of the console with the controllers, also a listing of all the stuff that is included inside the package. Now, here in the back, you have pretty much what's more important about this console, and it's all the games. You have the 40 classic games plus 2 bonus titles. You have, of course, Darius and Tetris. Here in the front and pretty much on the top, you have Echo the Dolphin, and you have Castle Evolution, which is nice. And of course, the whole picture of all the cartridges, all the packages for all the games, which is very nice. All right, now we're opening this box, and we'll see what's inside. The micro USB cable, the AC adapter, HDMI cable. These are the controllers, so you get 2, and actually they feel pretty sturdy too, just the feel of it, the weight. Here, of course, you got the instructions for the whole package. And this is the console right here, which is definitely nice, and you can see the serial number right there. I'm telling you this is very close to the original console. I remember back in the day, pretty much where you insert the cartridge. It's kind of cool. That's very nice. It's high definition graphics in there. It says Sega Genesis, of course, right there on top, 16-bit. You got the power on light. That's cool. Also here you can see the little controls. You got the on and off switch. I don't know if it works. Actually, we will test it. It has a reset button right there, and actually you can press it down. You have a volume control. I think it's just pretty much the knob not necessarily works. I'm not so sure. But here in the front you have pretty much the USB connections for controller 1 and controller 2. Man, this has actually some little weight. It's not as light as I thought it would be. The controller feels very premium. I really like the feel of it. The texture. Of course, you know, some people might point out that the original feels more rugged. But in my opinion, this is very close to that. It just feels so well done. Like you have the button, ABC buttons, pretty cool. The start button right there. Wow, this looks very, very close to it. And of course, you get the D-pad. Feels very good. Man, I like the weight of this one. Of course, this was a nice controller back in the day. I remember it was more comfortable than the SNES in my opinion. Now, looking at the controllers from Retrobit, I love the fact that they actually kind of really play with the same team of the Sega Genesis, which I really like these boxes, to be honest too. They're really nice. I don't know if I want to just test them out. They look kind of neat. It says that you can use this with the PC, with your Mac, Steam, PS3, Switch, and Genesis too. Actually, this one, I wouldn't say that doesn't feel as heavy as the one that comes in pretty much in the box, the 3-button one. But it's not bad, actually, and it's comfortable. This was a very comfortable controller. And the buttons there, so definitely there are a couple of things are new, of course, like this buttons here, the mode button, if I'm not mistaken, or the triggers. I think something there is different, but you know, it's been so long. Now here's the black one, and again, it's the same concept. When you compare this with pretty much the 3-button, you can see there's a difference. This one is a lot bulkier, and perhaps this one is more ergonomic. But it depends on you. If you have like big hands, probably you're gonna feel more comfortable with this one. I think I'm gonna play most games with this one. But if you're going into the fighting games, then definitely this is a much better option. Well, now that it's everything out of the box, it is time for us to plug it in and see how it performs. The first thing that you're going to see as soon as you turn it on the screen will be the choice of language. You can choose between Japanese, English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Chinese, and Korean. As soon as the interface pops up, you're going to hear the menu music. It was composed by Yuzo Koshiro, the original composer of Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage 2, and Beyond Oasis. It feels very good, very retro. I know some people may not like it after a while because it's the only song available. You cannot change it, you cannot turn it off, but it is catchy, so I like that. Now, on the top left corner of the interface, you're going to see the settings menu. When you access this, you're going to have different options. One is technically a warning or tutorial that it says, please read this before playing. You have the languages, screen settings, wallpaper settings, staff credits, legal notices, and reset to factory settings. When you go into the screen settings, there are two aspect ratios available. You get the regular 4:3 and you get the widescreen 16:9. There's no pixel perfect option, unfortunately. Also, there is an option for a CRT filter. I tried it, but I didn't like it because it is too dark. Normally, I don't like when they give these CRT filters. They try to imitate, of course, the view of a CRT television, but it never looks right. So might as well just simply leave it off. When you access the wallpaper settings, there are 3 different backgrounds, 2 color backgrounds, and there's a black background. Now, the interface, in my opinion, is very, very good. I like it a lot. I actually do like it in some ways more than the NES and SNES Mini design. Not saying that it's better overall, but for me, I like this design because I feel that it's better organized. However, if there's something to complain about it, that is I feel that the cursor is very twitchy, it's very sensitive, so it really moves really fast. And sometimes you can double tap by mistake so quickly and you can choose a different game. So that's something that perhaps is not the best part of the design, but everything else I like. You can sort the games in different ways, based on release date, alphabetically between A to Z, the genre, the number of players. Another thing that I really like is you can change the presentation of the games. You can change it from front cover to the spine of the box art, which I like that. I think it's a really clever idea. So it really gives you options, and I like the design, of course, and the music and the background really plays so well. It feels so Sega, and I like that. As I mentioned before, if you change the language, the interface will change to that particular language or particular region. So you can change to the Japanese version. So it really, as soon as the screen or the interface comes up, is going to be the Mega Drive design, and also the box art is going to change. Not only that, you can also play the games from those regions if they were available, of course. Now, one thing that you're not going to be able to do is to have access to the exclusive regional games of the different areas of regions where the Mini was sold, which is unfortunate, but it's understandable. They're just trying to keep it as exclusive as possible. Now, there are 42 games included in the console. There are a lot of classics. Some games are not as classic, but definitely there's a lot of variety on the different genres here. You get Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle, Alicia's Dragoon, Alter Beast, Beyond Oasis, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, which is a favorite of mine, Castlevania Bloodlines, Columns, Comic Zone, Contra Hard Corps. In other languages besides the English and Japanese, is going to be named Protector. You get Darius, which is a new port that has never been released. The Dr. Robotnik's Mean Machine. If you choose the Japanese version, it's going to be called Puyo Puyo. You get Dynamite Heady, Airwar Jim, Echo the Dolphin, Eternal Champions, Goals and Ghosts, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Kid Chameleon, Landstalker, Light Crusader, Mega Man, The Willy Wars, which was only available through the Sega channel, which in my opinion is good that they released it for this console. You get the Monster World 4, Phantasy Star 4, Road Rash 2, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball, Space Harrier 2, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, Streets of Rage 2, Strider, Super Fantasy Zone, Tetris, which is in this case is a new port that was never released commercially. There were only a few copies ever released. Very hard to come by collectible items. So it's released for this. Thunder Force 3, Toe Jam and Earl, Vector Man, no Japanese version, Virtua Fighter 2, no Japanese version, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, which is a surprise. I'm surprised that they released this one here. Now, when choosing a game, you are prompted first to a quick bio before pressing start, and it, of course, gives you the date, the year it was released, the number of players that can play, the type of game it is, and the story. I like that. I think there's attention to detail. Now, when you play the games, the visuals on the audio are, in my opinion, are almost perfect, are really, really good. I don't see any differences. Unless you compare this side by side with the original hardware, you're going to notice differences. After all, this is emulation, but it was done by M2, and M2 is a legendary emulation company. They have done this work
for many years. Since I remember, since the PS2 era, or perhaps even before that, they were doing these compilations and all this ports into new consoles, and they have done a terrific job. I like what they have done here. It really feels great. The sound is great. The visuals are great. A few glitches here and there from time to time you're going to notice, but they are not really taking you from the experience, are not really stealing anything from it, and I like that. Now, another thing that I like about this is that you can access the system menu by holding the start button while in game. There you have access to a save state menu where you can choose, pretty much you have 4 slots per game. Now, Japan exclusively gets the Dyna Brothers 2, Lord Monarch, Mato Monogatari, Party Quiz Mega Q, Rena Hero, The Hybrid Front, Yu Yu Hakusho Makyo Totsusen, which is a fighting game based on the manga. And to be honest with you, I prefer this one than Eternal Champions. Eternal Champions plays okay, it's Eternal Champions, but it was never that great of a game and hasn't really aged that well. It's very clunky, but it is what it is. That's what the Japanese get. Now, Asia, which is Taiwan and Korea, get some really nice exclusives, I'm telling you. They get the Alien Soldier, which in my opinion I like it. I really like it a lot. Outrun 2019. They get Shining Force 2. A lot of people like Shining Force 2. Sword of Vermilion. Also, there are games that are shared between the Japanese and the Asian market. They get the Assault Suit Linus, which I like. They get the game known Kasumi Otokuyo, Langriser 2, Musha, which in my opinion, I love to have Musha here. I would have preferred this over Thunder Force 3 and even Darius. They get Powerball, Puyo Puyo 2, Puzzle and Action 10R, Slap Fight MD, and The Revenge of Shinobi, which I know a lot of people have preferred this one over Shinobi 3. Although I like Shinobi 3, I understand why people prefer Revenge of Shinobi because it is more classic. There are omissions here. There are games that in my opinion I would love to see here instead of some games that were pretty much, in some ways, I wouldn't say shovelware, but they were just not as iconic and they're part of the console. I would say that Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles is missing here. I would love to see them there. A complete Sonic collection. Streets of Rage 1 and 3, although 2 is the fan favorite. I think 1 and 3 also deserve a spot. Golden Axe 2 and 3. Aladdin. That's another game that a lot of people have loved to see in this console. Also, Rocket Knight Adventures. That's a game that has a lot of fans. A lot of people love that game. Lightning Force. That's one that a lot of people have loved to see here. Mortal Kombat, Rise Star, Pulseman, Shadow Dancer. I love Shadow Dancer. Herzog's Vi is a game that a lot of people would have loved to see here, and it didn't make its way. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, phenomenal game, very different than the SNES version, but very, very good. Maximum Carnage, X-Men 2, The Clone Wars, phenomenal X-Men game, one of the best X-Men games ever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Hyperstone Heist, a phenomenal version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. Of course, I'm gonna be able to add all these games when I hack the Mini, but it would have been nice if they would add it from the get-go. I also purchased a case to keep everything together. Unfortunately, there's no official case. There was an official case that came out in Japan, sold out long ago. There's other imitation cases that you can find through Amazon. Unfortunately, they're all really small, and all you can fit there is just the console and the main 2 controllers. And I wanted something big enough to hold the extra controllers. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough space. The case that I found was the biggest they have, but still, I was only able to fit just the mini console and the main controllers. So that is unfortunate. The other way would be to go maybe on the route of a Pelican case, which is big enough. It's going to be too big, perhaps. This is a very nice mini console. It is not perfect by any means. Emulation needs some little work here and there, but unless you're really paying close attention and you are really a hardcore Sega fan, you will notice. But beyond that, I think they did a fantastic job with this one, so I recommend it. So my friends, thanks for watching. God bless, take care, and I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.